It is time we settle this debate for good. Over the last 20 years, has technology in golf clubs actually improved? Go on, what do you think? Has it? Now, I'm looking at irons here and thinking, is it only loft jacking, so essentially making the lofts of clubs really, really strong, the only reason why the golf ball is going longer? Or has technology actually improved massively in irons? Well, today I'm going to settle this debate for good because... So I have two Mizuno products here, an MP-33 from around about 2002 and a Mizuno Pro Fli-Hi. Now there is something very, very interesting about these clubs, and this 100% requires a sit down because I have had these clubs made specially. These clubs are the exact same, and what I mean by that is they're both 18 degrees, they both have a lie angle of 58 degrees, a swing weight of D3, a shaft length of 39.5, which is 2 iron length, and a same shaft in a Tour Issue X1. So that's pretty cool, right? So if this goes further, surely that's just the technology that's in the club now, nothing to do with loft jacking. And if this goes the same distance as this, does that show that technology hasn't really improved apart from loft jacking? Now, we're not just going to test this in one scenario. My aim is to put this fully to the test in several. So we're going to try it off the tee, we're going to try it out the fairway and out of the rough. All scenarios where you would use a 2-iron to get you out of trouble. Now, a few things that I'm thinking right now, do off-centre hits travel as far? And isn't it pretty scary that if this goes the same distance, it shows that really in irons technology hasn't really moved on? Right, let's go to the next hole and start this test. Before that though, let me know what you think on this. Has it moved on? Hasn't it moved on? I think it's a really interesting debate, but now we can settle it. And this is the hole right here we're gonna take this test on. We're gonna do it on the yellows, 4-5-3. It requires a little bit of a draw around this corner, which when you're looking down the fairway is just somewhere around here. Please stop raining. Firstly, can I just say, look how scary this looks down behind the ball. The MP-33 literally has no offset. That top edge is like a butter knife. And then when you hold it up here, look how little offset that club has. Like, literally no offset at all. It's very, very scary. But I have to say, it is an absolute work of art, isn't it? Who remembers this club, by the way? So literally, as you know, these golf clubs are exactly the same. So we're gonna go alternate. 2 from each club in each scenario. Let's start off with the MP-33. Told you this looked scary, didn't it? Oh, it was a low bullet. Absolute low tracer. I mean, that's gonna have some serious run in it, but we're not bothered about that. We're looking at carry. Oh, that was ripped. Didn't quite get it turning over, but that was absolutely honeyed. Now, carry-wise, that just carried, and this is quite surprising really, 222 yards. That's carry. We're only bothered about carry. How far do each of these carry in all the scenarios? So this has laid the gauntlet down, definitely. Wow, that was impressive, and it has just started raining. The heavens have opened. Nevertheless, we're going to carry on with this test. So just for reference, have a look at the new Mizuno Pro Fli-Hi. I mean, this club looks seriously good down behind the ball. Look at it, definitely a lot more forgiveness there, and you can even see the back of the club slightly when you're addressing it. You definitely get a lot more confidence, and I said when I reviewed this club on its own how much I loved it, and actually how it could replace your driver. And as you can see, unlike the Mizuno MP-33, there is a little bit of offset on this. Now remember, these clubs are exactly the same. I'm a little bit nervous and intrigued to see how far this one is going to fly. What's it going to come out like? What is this going to come out like? Maybe the off-centre hits will be still just as good. Oh, rip that. I can't hit an iron better, and that's much better line. Much better line. Carry. I mean, you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to have to show you anyway. 223 yards carry. That's 1 yard longer. Now, arguably, it went a little straighter, exactly where I want it to go. Now, while I just dry off for a second, on these next two shots, let's have a look at the ball speed. So on those two right there, both very good hits. The second one with the Fli-Hi went a lot straighter where I wanted it to go, but 1 yard's difference between them. Okay, they were both good hits, let's say that. We need to make note of that because the off-centre hits is where we might find some differences. And first up, MP-33, ball speed time. That was a honey of a hit. Tell you what, this club feels like a knife through hot butter when you get it right. 143.6 ball speed with the MP-33. I don't know if that's impressive right now. We'll only know when we hit another one. Now remember, these are off the tee, but we're gonna test them in every single scenario. We're doing the tee, then off the fairway and out the rough. And will we see a difference? Now so far, this is seriously interesting how close these are matched. Now the only way this is a fair test is because these clubs are exactly the same and I got it made purposely for this test. Okay, ball speed with the Mizuno Fli-Hi. Oh my God, that's a tracer bullet. I know it's a little bit right, but that was hit so well. Tell you what, it's a good job I'm swinging it well today because, wow. Okay, do we have our first big discrepancy here? This is what we call summer in Manchester, by the way. Okay, so the ball speed, 149.8 on the Mizuno Fli-Hi. That's a little bit faster, just more than 6 miles an hour. Now, interestingly, how far did that then go? 230 yards carry. Interesting. So more ball speed, slightly different flight, is a little bit higher, maybe produced a little bit more spin, but we definitely saw more ball speed on that. Now you've got to remember, if a club generates a little bit more spin easier, it's easier to get the ball in the air and to stay in the air. So, a little bit more ball speed, similar distances, we now need to test this from the fairway. And I want to say one thing, I think this is where we're seeing more advances. I don't actually think we see the longest shot go longer, maybe a little bit when the lofts are the same. Listen to me here though. But maybe it's easier to do other things, like keep the ball in the air, generate spin. So these clubs, like for example this 2-iron, are more accessible for a broader range of player. Not just like back 20 years ago where you have to be a top ball striker to play them. By the way, I'm not saying I'm a top ball striker, but you think, right? If a club doesn't spin very much on off-centre hits, or just doesn't spin very much in general, then it's just so hard to hit. Okay, now before we have a look at the MP-33 and the Fli-Hi from the fairway, the rough's the test I'm interested in the most, but let's go through a bit of the history of the MP-33 because it was really a bit of a, well, big deal for its time, and arguably still is. Now, the Mizuno MP-33, apart from being an absolute beauty, and in my opinion, an absolute work of art, there's a reason why this was so popular with a lot of better players. What made the MP-33 so popular amongst better players across the board, and not just touring professionals, is the slightly lower centre of gravity compared to other blade models, to help keep the ball in the air just a little easier. These are like 100% still a blade designed for workability and not forgiveness, but at the end of the day, who would say no to a little bit of extra help? And right, who does say no to a little bit of extra help? And these were very popular with world #1 at the time, Luke Donald. I just love it. I just love it. Okay, so far it's holding up well, and the argument is there's not much changed, apart from we've seen quite a big increase in ball speed. So, how does it go on now? And I'm thinking maybe that slight increase in ball speed was the fact that the Mizuno Fli-Hi is a hollow-headed iron. Again, that would be sort of a tick in the new technology column. And like I say, maybe that reason why we saw that increased ball speed. So these are tough testing conditions. Summer's day in the rain, lovely. Okay, carry off the deck, we're starting with the Fli-Hi this time. Oh, that was hit so good. That's like a tracer bullet, get up there. Ooh, that was seriously good off the deck. 210 yards carry. That was a really, really nice shot. And next up, we're going back to the MP-33. It does feel so good, that Fli-Hi, when you get it. You literally don't feel it coming off the face. And that black head down the ball is something that I love really love. Tell you what, I was surprised at how low that Fli-Hi was there. I was expecting a little bit more launch on that. But anyway, okay, MP-33. Let's see what carry we get here. Oh, I've hit it good, a little offline. And that's one thing I'm noticing right now. It's definitely not as easy to hit this one straight. Distance-wise, it's gone longer. Look, 217 yards, a little bit longer, but what good is that if you're hitting it in the cabbage like I did that one? Okay, 2 more, another one off the deck with each of the clubs. Oh, absolute tracer bullet. I mean, for how hard this club should be to hit, that's gone so straight. Wow! Wow! So look at those right there. There is literally nothing between all 3 of them. And then one of them went in here. Just for reference too, that last shot I hit with the MP-33 had a ball speed of 142 miles an hour. Now, I really think I'm starting to form an opinion of what I think about technology over the last 20 years. And I'm not sure some of the big brands are going to like this. Anyway, I need to just hit 4 more in the rough scenario to really finalize my conclusion with this. But what are you thinking? Okay, let's find out how far we've got here. Prime scenario. This is the 18th and we're in a par 5, and if we hit a good drive, we are within 2-iron range. And if you're wondering why on earth I have all this on here, today is a Tuesday and it's my coaching day. I've got here early because I wanted to test this. These clubs landed on my desk and I wanted to take them out. Okay. Okay, that's a little far. That is a little far. 240 yards. Anyway, I think it's a good place to try this. I'll show you the lies that I'm going to have for all 4 shots. Now, I'm not going to go too much of a bad lie because if you think about this logically, you wouldn't hit a 2-iron out a horrendous lie. If you came to me for a lesson and I saw you hitting a 2-iron out of thick rough, I would be telling you off. So I can't be doing that in this test. It couldn't be a fairer day to try these clubs either, could it? I mean, I know it's raining, but there's not a breath of wind. Right, first up, we're going for the Pro Fli-Hi out this rough. Oh, a bit clunky, a little clunky. Rough's wet, but it's still gone pretty good, that. Still a very, very good carry, considering the conditions. Oh, I got it thin. I got it really thin. Oh no, I don't know how that's gonna fly. I got it thin. 200 yards carry, so only a little bit shorter, which I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised at. Maybe the Fli-Hi got a little bit snagged up in the rough and I got that just sort of nipped off the top, but these things happen. 200 yards of carry, and considering it is an off-centre hit, very, very similar. Now, I'm actually going to say, I think if I'd got the Fli-Hi thin like I did that one, the Fli-Hi would definitely have got more ball speed. I feel like that shot, it really got snagged up in the rough. Look, these things happen, so I'm going to keep it in the test because no one's going to hit a perfect shot. No one's trying to thin it. No one's trying to hit a shot like that. I was trying to play it exactly the same. 2 more, and then I've got my full conclusion for you. And here's the next lie for the MP-33. We're going to carry on with that. Mix up the order, keep us guessing. Oh, that was like the first one I hit with the Fli-Hi. A little snaggy. Didn't drop that much ball speed. 134.8 and 202 yards of carry. I'll be honest, I think I got that out of the middle. I'm a little bit surprised at the carry and the ball speed. How all 3 shots there have been very, very similar. Like that definitely was a closer shot to how the Pro Fli-Hi reacted on the first one out the rough. Definitely a lot closer. This has really got me thinking. It's really, really got me thinking. Like, I'll be honest, so far, if we just sort of analyse what's happened, I've definitely hit it straighter with this club. I've hit the ball a little bit higher. It feels a little bit easier to hit, where it's the size, the offset, and the materials, the way it's made. It's definitely designed to help you. But in terms of ball speed, in terms of distance, I've not seen that much difference. I would say slightly, this is edging it. Oh, that was honeyed. That is straight down the flag as well. Maybe finishing left half, hang on. I don't know why I'm saying hang on, it's definitely not going to have made it there. 210 yards of carry. Maybe it will have got a little run up there actually. 210 yards of carry, and actually on that shot, quite significantly more ball speed. So let's go through my final verdict. Let's just analyse what's happened here. Let's take it from the top. On those first shots that I hit off the tee, the ball speed was slightly higher on one shot on the Pro Fli-Hi. The dispersion was definitely straighter, and I found it easier to get the ball in the air. It doesn't feel as much hard work. Okay, maybe one tick towards new technology. Then hitting them from the fairway, again, we saw the ball fly a little bit straighter. Ball speeds and carries, very, very similar, if not exactly the same. So one for each of them, right? And out the rough, again, I don't think there was much to it there. The one thing that I would say, right, and it's a big thing, I mentioned this as we were going through the video. There is no point having tons of distance if you can't control it. And the little bit of offset that you have on the Fli-Hi compared to the MP-33 is definitely something that helps me personally, and I think you hit it straighter. But overall, I don't think technology on centre hits has improved that much at all. Only marginally. And for me, that's because of the differences in maybe the materials and the fact that now we have hollow-bodied clubs. However, on off-centre hits and dispersion, and actually now who could use clubs like this, that's where I think it's improved. I didn't see off-centre hits go as short, even though actually the thin that I hit with this went pretty similar to the good shots, only a little bit less ball speed out the rough. The dispersion and off-centre hits on this are going to be better. So I don't think if you're looking at something going, I'm going to hit this club further, you're going to achieve that. All you're going to do is hit your bad ones not as short, or if not, pretty much the same as your good ones. And that's what I want you to be looking at. Don't go buying clubs going, all I'm going to buy this for is if it goes 20 yards further. By all means, if it does, then maybe that is worth a conversation. But my point here is that you've got to be looking at how good is my bad shot now with this club. And that's where I think technology's improved. Not actually us hitting the golf ball further when we get the lofts the same, but our dispersion, our ease, our quality is a lot easier to achieve in newer clubs than older ones. Now, hopefully you totally agree with what I'm saying there. I think that's exactly what we saw today. A club, when you get the same lofts, fly pretty much on the same hits, exactly the same, new and old. But the dispersion not as good, and I would say, who's got access to this club in terms of who could actually buy it? The MP-33 is going to be very, very limited. Whereas the Fli-Hi definitely opens up to much more of a mass market. How many more people now have a driving iron? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel